Hi guys, welcome back to Our Wyoming Life. My name is Mike, and you've heard us talking for the last couple weeks about haying and how it is just around the bend. We haven't hayed for 3 years, going on 3 years here on the ranch. In fact, our last adventure in haying, we ended up getting rained out and actually hailed out, and that was the end of our haying season in 2019. Since then, all of our haying equipment has been sitting kind of in storage, and this spring we got a chance to pull it out and get it ready to go, anticipating not a bumper crop, but some sort of crop of hay, and that's what we're doing today. Today is the very first day of haying season 2022. And I'm super excited to be here, super excited to be able to hay. Obviously, all the hay that we harvest here this summer goes into our winter storage, or our winter stockpile of hay, to be able to get the cows through the winter. Out here, there's no hay left, so they've got to eat something, and that's where we're going to do this. We've got about 500 acres, a little bit over actually, of hay to harvest, and that hay is located in hay fields. We have one that's a 160 acre hay field, a couple more that are about 140, and well, no, 70 and 70, that'll make 140, and then a few other hay fields that we're going to hit as we work our way through here. So our plan for bringing you guys along for haying season is to basically show you as much as we can. Today is the 28th of June. I'm recording this a little bit early, and so that I can show you as much in this video of the haying process as I can. Today, obviously, we start out with cutting the hay, and that's where we're going to be getting our mower and getting the hay cut, which we've actually already brought down here to the hay field that we're going to be starting on. Then we rake, and then we bale and make the big old bales. Tomorrow, which would be the 29th, we actually have something fun planned, and that is the fact that we're taking over FBN, the Farmers Business Network. We're taking over their Instagram feed for the day, and that's going to be part of this video as well, because we're going to be taking little videos. We're going to be sharing those on FBN with folks that maybe don't know who Our Wyoming Life is or what we do, and we want to be able to showcase with their help what's happening here on the ranch as well. So we're just arriving here at our very first hay field of the year. And this is the hay field that we've been keeping an eye on as we've been moving through this spring and trying to keep measurements on. Well, this is the hay field that we brought out the yardstick and planted it in the hay, not that it's going to grow, but we put it in the hay field so that we could measure and see how much the grass is growing over time. I think when we put it in, the grass was right about the 8-inch mark. Let's see what it's doing today. And there we go. Grass is growing up to about 2 feet, pretty close. And of course, that's the tallest grass that we have out here, but this is also the field that we did our measurements in just last week. And was that 10 days ago? Can't remember. But anyway, this is the same field that we did that in, and we ended up with that 1,200 pounds per acre. We're hoping that by the time we bale it, we come up with that as well. And that, I think that's going to be a pretty cool indication. We'll see how close we are on numbers. So this is it. We've got to grab our tractor, get it over here, and well, we'll get haying kicked off. So before we get started with the actual cutting, we do go through the entire machine. We check all of our fluids, we check all of our oils, everything like that, and make sure they're okay. What I want to show you guys before we get started here is the mower and exactly how it works. When we brought our mower out from storage, everything was kind of rusted up and nasty. So we ended up replacing every single one of these rock guards, and we replaced our sickle as well. I did take it out and do a little testing just to make sure everything worked, but everything seems to be just fine. These rock guards actually are what kind of keep the bigger rocks from getting in here. The sickles move back and forth over the rock guards, or between the rock guards actually, and that forms kind of like a little scissor action, which allows us to cut the grass. Something like that. We have two of them, two sickle bars. Both are 9 feet long, and they actually work in succession. So one is going to cut the 9 feet that's closest to the tractor. The other one cuts the 9 feet farthest away. It all runs off a PTO off the back of the tractor at 540 RPMs. Bunch of grease points in the whole dang thing, which we have to make sure that we keep greased at all times. But other than that, it's actually a pretty simple piece of equipment. There's lots of ways to cut hay. You've seen swathers, which are kind of like mini combines, or some people will call them hay binds. Those things work great, and they actually lay the grass out in a windrow right away. With our way of doing it, it just lays the grass out flat, lets it dry, and then we come by with the rake and make a windrow. Inside the tractor, I'll tell you, I got a bit of a mess because I have to carry the tools that I need. If I break a knife or a tooth out there, I have to be able to replace it. I also have extra rock guards if I need to replace some of those, and all the bolts and stuff to make that work. So I've got all that with me. Hopefully we don't need it. We just smooth sailing. With that, I think we're ready to start cutting. So first thing we're going to do is lay our sickle bars down. We're going to turn on our PTO, and then away we go.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. 'Cause up here it's bread, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life is just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, if you can keep your 9 to 5, have to win the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind, trying to save your time. There's your thing about breaking out the bucket list. Girl, you can skip this funny business. 'Cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated. That's alright by me. I got everything that I need, but there is breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small.
So as we get going out here, it's a little bumpy. This field's not the smoothest field in the world, and there's a few rocks that we do want to watch out for, but we do cruise along at about 6 miles per hour. And at that speed, we're able to keep an eye on what we're doing. Now, the first trip around the field is probably the trickiest. We're taking that field back, or that trip around backwards than what we would normally do, and we'll end up turning around and going back the other way, so that we're actually driving where we've already cut. Right now we're actually driving, obviously, in the hay, and we haven't cut yet.
Well, everybody knew my name, and all my friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, you can keep your 9 to 5, 'cause I'm happy with the simple life. Oh Lord, you can keep your 9 to 5.
This field that we're in is about 70 acres, so I usually like to anticipate about 10 acres per hour. That kind of seems to be my average, with breakdowns and everything else, or at least fixing of what needs to be fixed. So if I can do that 10 acres an hour, I'll have 7 hours into this field to get it done. Since we're mowing about 18 feet at a time, that means that when we rake, we come in at 30 feet, which is roughly double what we're mowing. So we'll consider that it's going to take 3 or 4, well, 3.5, 4 hours or so to rake it up, and then the same amount of time to bale it. So by the time we get done with this field, we plan to have about 15 hours into this field. Once we get our yield, we figure out how many bales we get out, we can take a look at how efficient we are. But I guarantee you that us baling our hay, our own hay here on the ranch, is a lot cheaper than buying it from somewhere else and getting it trucked in. Well guys, we played the old switcheroo, and Jeff is now in the 6410, which is his favorite tractor. We're still in 6420, but we switched implements, and Jeff now has the mower and I have the rake. Hey there gang, welcome back. It is the next day. Jeff actually managed to finish getting this field cut, and we have been working on raking it. Jeff has now moved on to the next 70-acre hay field, but we're still working on the same one that we were working on yesterday and trying to get it raked up and finish the raking process. We do have a bit of a problem, possibly, and that is that we've got some weather here coming in. You can see a bit of a storm over that direction, and that might cause us a problem. And my hope is to be able to get this raked up and finished, get over here with the baler and start baling this up and get it done as quick as possible. Hopefully get this field done today. Now, they're telling us that we've got a 15% chance of rain. I don't know if that's true or not. It is raining right over there, just a few miles away, and I can definitely see that. So we're just going to cook right through the rest of this field, then we'll be grabbing the baler, getting it over here, showing you how that works, and getting it ready to go. The rake has been working great. It's just been like non-stop. We've just been going constantly here. Started this morning about 5 o'clock, came out and got going on this whole thing, and hopefully we'll be able to finish this entire field up today. So if we can do it, great, and we'll be able to show you the entire process. Plus, remember, here at the end, we're going to be taking a look at yields for this field, and we're going to see how close we were with our estimates, which actually I'd like to know too. All right, we're all done raking everything up for today, so that finishes up the mowing and the raking of this field. It's time to go grab the baler, get back here and start making bales. And like I said earlier, we're gonna have to do this a little bit fast just because we do have this weather moving in. The wind is kicking up too, and that's one of the reasons we ended up working on this field all day long today, was because we had 50-mile-an-hour winds last night. So the raking I did yesterday was basically undone by the wind. So we don't want that to happen again. We want to get in here and get this baled and done so we can move on to the next one. Plus we can take a look at our totals and all that kind of good stuff too. We're also recording today for the FBN Instagram takeover, so that's been a little bit of a trick. Stopping to film here and film over there. Remind me next time not to schedule to film two things in one day. So it's been a lot of fun. All right, let's go grab that baler and get up here and begin the last step of the process of making the hay for the cows for winter. Hey guys, good morning and welcome to Our Wyoming Life's takeover of the FBN Instagram channel. My name is Mike, and we're out here today in Northeast Wyoming, where we're doing just a little bit of haying. We're over here in a hay field about 70 acres that we're going to be taking care of today and bringing you guys along with us. This is a hay field that's full of mostly prairie grass, but there is a little bit of alfalfa in here, needle grass, some brome, some bulbous bluegrass in here as well. the wheels back there on the rake, turning round and round, and putting the hay right into a nice little windrow that will come and pick up with the baler. So like I said, I've got a few hours of me driving around in circles here, listening to music and hanging out with myself. Welcome back to the next stage of haying, where we have our John Deere 4055 tractor, which is hooked up to our 560, I had to look, our 568 baler. And we're ready to make some bales. Let's jump in, let's get going. Well, it looks like the storm has gone around us, whatever storm it wasn't much. We got about 5 raindrops on the windshield, but that's okay. We don't need it anyway. We want to get these bales up today, and we're going for a bale an acre in this field. That will put us pretty close to what we were looking at for our estimate and what we need for the cows. A bale an acre would give us around 70 bales, so 74 bales, so that would feed the cows for a couple months, which is great, and that's exactly what we need to be doing out here. So I'm going to get going. We're going to show you how some of this stuff works, and we're going to make a bale. Baling is probably one of the things that's actually a little bit complicated. The mower, you pull it, it cuts. Obviously you got some mechanicking to do if you break a blade or something like that. The rake, even easier, you pull it, it rakes. The baler, a little bit more tricky, and that's because you have to balance a bale. This is our baling computer, and basically what it shows is each side of the bale for us, and we want to keep those bales as even as possible, or the bale as even as possible. You don't want to end up with a crooked bale. Otherwise it just looks funny, and probably wouldn't unroll easily, doesn't stack nice. We want to make them look good. So this computer will help us keep the bale exactly where we need it. These 2 bars, they go up and down, and we try to keep them even as we can as we fill up the bale. There's only one way to show you, and that is to get out and start doing it. So let's fire things up. And away we go. So the baler has pickup wheels, or pickup teeth actually in the front, that'll pick up the grass off the ground. The problem is it'll also pick up rocks and anything else that's there. So we do really have to keep an eye on that. As we pick up the grass, it starts filling up our bale, just like this. Now it's not as essential here in the beginning, but as you get closer to the end of the bale, that's where you've got to get it leveled out and even. So as we fill up our bale, we just kind of roll along. I'm moving at right now about 3 miles per hour, but I can actually bump that up a little bit to about 4 or so. And it'll take us a while to make a bale, but once we get there, I'll show you how it ends. The number down in the lower right-hand corner there is actually showing me the size of the bale. That's in inches, so right now we're about 27 inches. We're aiming for a 60-inch bale, so once we get closer to that, the computer will start yelling at us and saying, hey, pay attention, and that's when we've got to make sure we get everything even. You notice I'm moving the bale, the sides of the bale up and down. I'm doing that by weaving the tractor back and forth and controlling how it flows into the baler. That beep means we're within a few inches, so now we really got to start paying attention. All right, now it says we're done with the bale. You can see I'm a little off as it wraps. This is the wrapping that has started, and it's going to kind of even out. You can see that our top of our bale isn't exactly even, but heck, nobody's perfect. We're going to kick this thing out. And we're going to go back and take a look at our very first bale that we've made this season. So there's still a couple things we need to do. First of all, I want to take a look at the bale make sure the wrapping was complete. Everything seemed to work pretty good. So this is our first bale here. Pretty solid bale. I usually try to get these bales around 1,400 pounds a piece. I don't know if I've hit that until I weigh one, but with the settings that I have on the baler, that's about where I'm gonna be. The other concern that we have is the moisture of the bale, and in order to test that, we actually have this thing, which is our moisture tester. So we just put this directly into the bale, and it'll tell us where we're sitting. In she goes. Internal temperature of the bale is 87 degrees, which is fine because it's about 90 degrees out here today. And our moisture level is just perfect. It is at 14.5. That is exactly where we want it. That's actually as low as this machine goes. We can test a couple different spots. well, never mind, I lied, 14.4, so it goes below 14.5. 14.4. And keep in mind that we just cut this yesterday, raked it up today, and baled it today. 14.5. That is awesome. So that tells me that our grass is dry enough to bale, and we can just go to beat heck now and see how many bales we get off this entire field. Well, guys, it rained on us, and that pretty much shuts down baling for today. Unfortunately, I'm not going to know the bale count. I want to get this video out in time for you guys for tomorrow. So we will come back with another haying video, and we'll be able to get you guys kind of wrapped up, and we'll figure out exactly what we've got out here, how many bales we got, how many pounds per acre we got. I'm actually kind of thinking, though, I don't think we're going to get what I thought we were going to get. But we have to let it dry now. We didn't get much rain, maybe just 1/10 of an inch, but that's just enough to get everything wet, and now we have to wait for it to dry, and it may even take until overnight. We're supposed to have some more rain on the way too. So I didn't get it baled up in time. It's okay. Worst case scenario, we have to come roll it over with the rake one more time, let it dry out a little bit, come back in and try to bale it again. So that's it for me from Northeast Wyoming, where we're attempting to hay for the first time in 3 years, and the first day we get shut down. But I guess that's just the way that it works. We'll see you next time. Until then, be sure to subscribe, follow along as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary right here on Our Wyoming Life. Thanks, guys.